My name is Stephen Dima. I produce and organize the Seaport Music Festival. You are at the South Street Seaport, Pier 17. And tonight we just had a fantastic evening. Two great bands, Oppenheimer from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and Hot Chip from London, England. You know, I started, much like a lot of people who are into music, I started playing music. I was in a band for many years, and then I started to do shows over at the World Trade Center. I started to produce concerts over there, and after September 11th, I moved everything over here and fell in love with this place, and just decided that I would try and build something really, really different and unique. You know, build the kind of the best free club in New York City, basically. That's what I wanted to do. But you know, I was always a fan of John Peel. John Peel is a very famous English DJ, and once you were able to listen to internet radio online, I became obsessed with listening. He had a show on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, at 10 o'clock in the UK. So it'd be like 5 o'clock here. So I'd be sitting at my desk working, and I would listen to him, and he was a great champion of new music and new bands, and had a great passion for bringing new music to people, and I wanted to do that as well. You know, I had spent enough time in a van going up and down, you know, let's say I spent enough time in the van playing, and I wanted to just focus on building a really great festival, you know, and we're kind of like I like to think of us as the sort of like hipper, cooler, younger brother of like all the other major festivals in New York City. We used to call it the little festival that could, you know, and I remember the very first year, you know, Polyphonic Spree? Have you heard They played their debut gig here. There were like 5 people here. So that's 5 years ago. So to kind of like look out into tonight's crowd and remember where it sort of came from is a really, really fantastic thing. And having been a musician and knowing the sort of difficulties of getting attention, and it's very, very hard to be, you know, to sort of make it as a living as a musician, and you know, there's a lot that comes with it, a lot of sacrifice, and I think, you know, and I remember a lot of people along the way who maybe weren't so nice and stuff. You know, it happens, the club owners, whatever. It can be very, very rough out there. And so you know, I think once I started to see like, hey, I could really do something here, and I can bring great new band. Like, it's a joy for me. Like this band Oppenheimer, this was their first show in New York City, opening for Hot Chip at the Seaport. I mean, obviously, so there's thousands of people here. That's thrilling to me. That's like amazing. You know, these 2 kids from the sweetest kids I've ever met. You know, just, you know, I love that feeling. I wish somebody had done that for me, for my band. You know what I mean? To kind of run across somebody who's just so in love with music, and especially new music, and you know, to somebody that would get behind somebody and give somebody an opportunity. I love. That's probably my favorite thing. Of course, I love, you know, kind of figuring out who the biggest thing is going to be. Like last year, we had Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah. You know, when I booked them in February, it was, you know, they were the opener for this other band, Novachka, another great band. But by the time August came, it was like tonight, you know. So that's pretty thrilling as well. But I love, so the transition wasn't hard at all. I find it a joy to sort of be able to give young musicians a great opportunity. And I mean, what great opportunity than to, here you go, you're in front of thousands of people, now play. You know, it's beautiful. I have to admit, I because of where I was at the time in my life, and the, you know, situation, and you know, being at the World Trade Center was very, very significant for all of this. And so I kind of skipped over. I was able to sort of like skip a few steps. You know, I think one of the greatest things one can do, a young person who wants to get into an event, is to intern, is to find a person like myself, and say, hey, I want to work, and then you get to know all the aspects of. I mean, I do that all the time. You know, I'll take someone under my wing and kind of show them So interning, obviously, like any profession, be it working at a record label or an agency or whatever, interning is key, and yeah, and being willing to work for nothing, and or very little, and sort of work your way up. I think one of the internet has just been one of the greatest things for new music and music in general. I think things like MySpace are mind-blowingly invaluable. I use it as a business tool. The Seaport Music Festival has a MySpace site, and that's how I connect with bands. And I think MySpace has been sort of like the biggest sort of breakthrough to sort of getting your music out there, because it's immediate, And but I think buying. There's a number of sort of directories out there that list all the festivals in the United States. I think putting all the usual stuff, sort of putting packages together and getting them out to all the festivals. Radio is very important. Outside of New York, there's a lot of great radio stations. New York's a big commercial market. I mean, what are you going to do? There's a couple of good stations. EastVillageRadio.com is a great independent music station. It's getting your music to using the resources that are more available than ever before. I mean, you can. There are people like Alan McGee who started Creation Records and the Pop Tones label. I mean, discovered, millions of great bands. And he's like, he's on MySpace. He's like, you become one of his friends, and you post bulletins, and you can communicate with these people. It's like, and people like that are really, really invaluable, because someone like Alan is really, really interested in a similar thing, in helping new bands who are good.